It's the 5th of June 2016. Welcome to episode 3 of RapBabble, the weekly hip hop show. I'm Flux Rope and I'm here with Hussein.
Hello.
And we're going to bring you the news and reviews of hip hop on a weekly basis. And if anyone wants to be a host with us, send us an email at rapbabble@gmail.com. First news story. It's a little bit of a non-news story, but in light of all the negative news stories, this is such a positive one that I thought I'd include it anyway. Puff Daddy's son graduates from high school, and Puff promotes it on Twitter, and there's an amazing photo of him just celebrating, and it's good to see a rapper promoting something positive. And this isn't necessarily active promotion, like you should all do this and do that. This is passive because he put it up and he is happy with this. So it's a passive form of promotion, but even though he's doing it unintentionally, it's a good message to people. So I'm happy about this story. What do you
think? I think he's just a proud dad, and I think he has the right to be a proud dad and show the whole world that, look, hey, my son has graduated high school.
That's a good thing. I'm thinking of it with the media hat on. I'm not thinking about it. The photo clearly shows a happy dad. There's no posing. There's no nothing. He's just not even looking at the camera. He's just celebrating. So you're totally right. This is just a dad happy.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't use social media a lot, so this is why I see it as promotion. I don't see it as because I don't put my stuff on. Yeah. Okay, so next story. Pusha releases a collaboration track with Jay-Z entitled "Drug Dealers Anonymous." So here we have a track with two former drug dealers on. It's a song with no chorus, just bars, long verses as well. And in the middle of the song, between the two verses, in place of a chorus, we have an excerpt from an American journalist she has a show where she gives her opinion, her very strong opinions. And in it, she's dissing Beyonce pretty harshly, actually. This is after she debuted Formation on the Super Bowl. And in that song, it's a celebration of being black. Yeah. And in it, she has there's a Black Panthers moment where she raises the fist. She doesn't really say specifically anything. She just kind of has the fist raised up, and the whole song is about blackness. And then this woman, who got very, very agitated about this, went on her TV show and slated Beyonce, saying, your husband was a former drug dealer, 14 years, and don't forget about that, and you shouldn't be promoting Black Panthers because they used to beat white people up, which wasn't their raison d'etre. So it's unfair to say that about them as if that's their entire mission. Incidentally, they did do that at times, but only in protection of people rather than just, let's go and beat people up. So they took, in the song, just two lines where she said, your husband was a drug dealer for 14 years. And they put that in the song.
Yeah.
And so what do you think, Hussein?
I think it's a very good track. I like the beat. It's a very dark, murky beat, and Pusha T, when he collaborates with these big people, he doesn't put choruses in, he just has his verse and then it transitions into the features artist verse. So I really like that kind of formula, and I think he's doing it very well.
When I saw the name of the song and the guys on it, immediately, I think the internet was excited. Everyone was excited.
Yeah, everyone.
And Jay-Z becomes Jay-Z. Like, this is the Reasonable Doubt Jay-Z. This is the lyricist Jay-Z. This is the drug dealer Jay-Z. This is the core. This is the one who's not trying to sell records. And there's no money to be made from this as well. He might get a feature, money from featuring, but that's small money. So he's clearly doing this just because for music. And this is so reminiscent of Young Jeezy's Seen It All.
Yep.
That was amazing. For me, that was a contender for Song of the Year. Jay-Z's verse, I just loved it. So
I think this is going to be the first single from Pusha T's upcoming album called King Push.
Oh, yes.
Hopefully. And hopefully it follows the same sound, the album he's going to be releasing.
Yeah. I doubt it'll be a single. It might just be, let's leak this onto the internet and get excited. Because it doesn't have a chorus. So there's not even any point in releasing it as a single. But as a song, it is a great song.
It
And
is a great song, yeah.
I love it because you can really go deep into it. Like you pause everything and then you listen closely to the lyrics and you bring them up and you read them. And it's really like a lot of songs are shallow, so you kind of dance along to them. And this one, I really listened to it. And my favorite line actually was when he said that we are children of a lesser god because of our darker skin tone.
Yeah.
That was a powerful line. I really had to like think about that and then pause it and read it and thought, wow, that's profound.
Pusha T has another similar line like that where he says even your melanin has a tan.
That was the second half of the same line. I couldn't
Yeah.
think of it, but yeah, we're children of a lesser god because our melanin has a tint.
Yeah.
Yeah, so powerful stuff.
Yeah, it was quite powerful.
And Jay-Z talks more about. He even mentions Emery, who was his partner in his former enterprise.
Yeah.
And I do find it interesting hearing stuff like that, tales like that, because a lot of the verse will be just kind of not specific. But when you start mentioning people, it becomes more solid. And he does that at the end of Seen It All as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I love, Seen It All and this. They both do exactly the same thing. They're both brilliant tracks. And normally we wouldn't put a song in a headline as a news article.
No.
But this deserves it.
Yeah.
When I went straight to hear it once I heard it was released. I had to listen to it. Okay, bad news. So this is fallout from the shooting last week.
Yep.
Live Nation postpones, or cancels or postpones 6 New York shows after last week's shooting, and people such as Joey Badass, YG, and Mac Miller have been affected by this. This is from Rolling Stone. And so as the headline says, there's fallout now. Rap is being affected. Other people in New York, other rappers are being affected by this one incident last week. Yeah, it's not good. It's just like the 90s. It reminds me of the gangster rap era.
It's like being in school and like that one kid that does something bad. And then teachers are like, oh no, then guys don't have playtime anymore or something like that. It's just,
Yeah. And it's a little bit sad to paint everyone with the same brush.
Yes.
I mean, Mac Miller doesn't do that kind of thing. And he's white as well. So he might actually be able to get away with it. If they just read his name, maybe not. But if they actually see him, they might not make it right. I don't know about the other two, Joey Badass and YG. I think YG... It's fairly hood.
Yes. I mean, he was in the Blood and Crips, one of those two.
It doesn't get more than that. That's kind of the pinnacle of stuff. But still, I haven't heard anything happening around them.
No.
So it's unfair for them to. I mean, a lot of rappers are straightening up and are staying out of the law's way.
Yeah.
So they're being smart about it. So, yeah. It's sad. It's sad for the culture. I'm not happy about this. I can see both sides of the
argument.
Yeah, so I'm not exactly going to tell them. It's hard to tell them. You must have one when not last week there was bad news. But I'm just hoping this is an isolated incident. After maybe 3 years, it'll be forgotten and everything will go back to normal.
But why do we have to wait like 3 years or X years? Like. It shouldn't be like this anyway.
These kind of stories stay for a long time. I just picked the 3 years out of the air, but for me, that's the kind of time that's needed to forget a shooting. Shootings are huge. Like any of the terrorist attacks that happen, it hangs around for a long time. It's a couple of years before it's passed, because you're always still dealing with the aftermath of it within those 3 years.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the next section, which is the charts.
Yep.
So we have the charts for the 4th of June, 2014. This is the album charts rather than the singles charts. So from the bottom we have Logic, the rapper called Logic, with the incredible true story. Have you heard this?
No.
I love Logic as a rapper. I haven't heard the album, but I love Logic as a rapper. Next at number 14 we have Straight Outta Compton, the soundtrack from the film, which is not Dr. Dre's album, which is called Compton.
Yep.
Number 13, and that's still in the charts as well, by the way. Number 13. we have Fetty Wap with the self-titled album. Number 12, we have If You're Reading This, It's Too Late by Drake. But that's because, you release a new album, your old album's going to get back in.
Or if you release an album and everyone hates it, so everyone just listens to your previous work.
That's what I said last week about What a Time to Be Alive. At what are we on? Number 12, we have To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar. And this is a good example of, if you make a quality album, it hangs around in the charts for a long time.
Yeah.
It's slow money, but it's good money. Rather than, you can have quick money and then it disappears. Yeah. But you're much better off having an album that's there like 6 months later, that's heavily praised. So, good going, Kendrick Lamar. I feel like he's championing the artist side of rap. He's the leader of that.
Yeah, he's done that from the beginning.
Number 11, we have Cut the Body Loose by Astronautalis, who I've never heard of.
Never heard of them.
Number 10, A$AP Rock, Impossible Kid. Do you know A$AP Rock?
I know the A$AP, yeah, I know the whole A$AP crew.
No. Sorry, A$AP.
A$AP. No.
So it's like the Greek author who made those children's stories like Hare and the Tortoise. So that's the first half of his name. This guy is he's a real lyricist. Like, he doesn't care about money or success or anything like that. Money or charts. And his music, I have one song of his, and it's just so cryptic that it actually made me not want to listen to the rest of his music. No idea. And he's quite far into his career, but he's fascinating how cryptic it is. Like, it's totally poetic. So we need more people like him, just kind of dilute it down a bit, but he is really good. That one song, it's very rarely that one song will convince you that someone is great. I had that with AZ. I didn't hear anything of him, and then I heard one song from 2000, from like his last album, which was many years ago. I just thought, wow, this guy is so good. Number 9, we have 2014 Forest Hills Drive, J. Cole.
Oh wow, that's still on the chart.
That's because it's good. And above him appear Kendrick Lamar with Untitled and Unmastered.
Yep.
Next is NF with Therapy Session. Then 6 is Ritz with Top of the Line. I'm going over these quick because I haven't heard of these. Then number 5, G-Eazy, When It's Dark Out. Number 4 is Kevin Gates with Isla. Number 3 is Hamilton. This musical, I'm a bit confused with this musical. I thought it was a black musical, but because it was talked about in hip hop.
It's because it's a hip hop soundtrack to the musical.
Okay. Because it's about an American figure from a while ago.
Yes.
I think it was a politician, maybe. Yeah. Okay, so, and it's winning awards left, right, and centre. This thing is amazing. And it's a hip-hop soundtrack. Impressive. I need to listen to this, because it's number 2. And then at the top of the charts, we have Drake with Views, which we could all predict. Alright, so moving on to the album review. And this week we have Rihanna's Anti.
Or Anti.
Yes. So this is her 8th studio album. She's signed to the Rock Nation, leaving Def Jam behind, which is pretty big news because...
I know, she started off with Def Jam.
Yeah. Only that, she's signing to a small label.
I know.
Even if it's backed by Jay-Z, it's tiny. They barely have anyone releasing music.
Yeah.
And they don't have... It doesn't look like they have a big label with big distribution that will really push. Like, it just seems like... They don't need it now, though, because the internet's here. You put it on the internet, so... This might be a trend towards people ditching major labels and going to smaller labels because they don't need the major labels to create the CDs anymore. And on top of that, I've heard people refer to record labels as just banks. They lend you the money, make the album, and then you have to pay them back. But that is more true now than ever since they don't actually create the CDs anymore and put them in the shops. Yeah. So getting back to the background, she released 3 singles. She released Work, Kiss It Better, and Needed Me. And also Sex With Me is out now. I've heard it on the radio. This has gone double platinum. And it was released exclusively through Tidal at first. And given that she's on Jay-Z's record label, who is a big partner in Tidal. That's obvious, but it's in other places now. Yeah, and it's yeah. All right, so that's the background of the album. She's taken a break as well. I think it's been 4 years maybe since her last album.
Yeah. She used to release an album every year on a schedule.
I got to the point where I was thinking she's gonna have some kind of breakdown if she.
Well, like some Britney Spears shave all my head off breakdown.
I didn't think she would go crazy. She seems really centered.
Yes.
So that's quite a blessing for someone who's pretty much at the top of pop music.
And
I can't believe.
She started out quite young.
Yes, 19. Yeah. So it's surprising that she's kept her sanity. I'd love to know what her secret is.
Probably weed.
She mentions it in this album.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, so she's been so she did like 8 years in a row consecutively, and I thought she would just have exhaustion and just kind of collapse and not survive. And she took a break, which she needed to take a break, and she's back. But since she's not with Def Jam, that means she's free. She doesn't have to do what the label tells her. Even the front cover, it's clear that she doesn't have a huge label telling her, "Oh, look like this so that you can sell records," because it's a picture of very young Rihanna. She looks like a child. She has a crown over her eyes, so it's kind of a big crown and it's resting on her nose, so it covers her eyes. And half of the picture is red, kind of blood red, kind of like the James Bond shot where the screen has been shot and the blood is falling down. So it's a very off-putting front cover. I don't think it even says Rihanna or Anti on it.
No.
So yeah, her record label didn't. If she had Def Jam, they would have said, "Nah, put something else on." Yeah. We want to see you as you are now. Look sexy. That's what we want to see. So yeah, she's gone in a different direction, and even the music, it doesn't feel like a pop album. So new direction.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. The album did take a new direction, and I think this is Rihanna kind of cementing her career. I think only a person who has worked hard and built up their rapport in the industry to actually pull this off. Like only a person with that sort of personality can have the strength to hold up an album like that.
What do you mean hold up an album like that?
Well, she's known for like doing all this rap and kind of pop music stuff.
Yeah.
But because she's now taken a whole different direction with that album, she's got the strength in her personality to say, this is my album and I'm standing behind it. And it kind of shows in her lyrical and her vocal skills within the album. And this how it stylistically changes throughout. And it's not one sound from beginning to end.
Yeah.
It's many different sounds, and it's very,
Yeah, it does change quite a bit. Yeah. We'll get into the meat. All right, let's start going. Consideration, the first track.
I loved it.
I thought it was great as well. Like it has hard hitting drums.
Yeah.
It has lines about being independent and you won't let me grow.
Yeah.
I love that. And then there's someone called SZA or SZA who is on Top Dog Entertainment with Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
She doesn't have much to say in the song, but she sounds quite good.
She does the chorus, but yeah.
But yeah, it is a great song.
Yeah.
And it's one of the songs that stayed with me after I heard it about 3 times. And then when I was outside, it started playing in my head again. That's the sign of a good song. And I just love those drums.
Yeah.
Next song is James Joint.
Yeah.
This is a bit psychedelic.
Yeah, psychedelic. It's a track about her love with weed and her love with another man, supposedly named James. And yeah.
I looked it up, and I looked up the credits, and it was written by someone who is a self-confessed weedhead. So that's why the love of weed was put in there. Because it was a bit of like the idea of mixing. I find it strange to mix weed and men as a subject matter.
Okay.
I thought that was a bit strange. But then the music is quite psychedelic. Like there's no drums, and it's really short. It's a minute and 15 seconds. And the structure is strange as well, so there's no proper chorus. But it just worked. I loved it. it's so different. It's one of those songs that works because it's so different, and it just sounds really great. I love it when songs really go in a totally different direction. Then we have Kiss It Better, song number 3.
And she released a music video for this one as well.
Right, this is a single then, yeah.
Yeah. I actually liked. I found it difficult to catch the beat when I first listened to it.
Mm.
I couldn't vibe with it, but now I've listened to it more and more and more. I actually like it. It's just the beat is really good, it's really catchy, and I really like the chorus of it.
Yeah, this is a ballad.
Yeah.
This has that electric guitar in the background, and it just has an epic feel. It kind of sounds like the climax of a rom-com.
Yeah.
So this was a good one, yeah. And then we have Work,
Yep.
which is funny. It's funny it's called Work because it is work, because it's essentially like, I need to sell this album. Let's have a let's bring Drake on. Like, the song is a bit out of place because it's very much a radio song.
Yep.
On a non-radio album. But it does the job.
It does the job, yeah. I like it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
No.
I don't like the fact that it's formulaic, but it's still good for what it is anyway.
Yeah.
I was a bit concerned though when I heard it. I thought, this isn't going to maintain her career. Like, she's had some huge hits. But people seem to like it actually, so it's doing the job. So yeah, so it's amazing that they can just apply the formula and just make a song. And not only can they do that, but they can make a radio song, which I like. It's not like they're making cheap music. I still like their radio songs. So
Are you getting bored of Rihanna featuring Drake on her album and then Drake featuring Rihanna on his album?
no, but if I hear it a third time, then yes. So
Okay.
Take Care already happened.
Yeah.
The song, the title track of the album.
Yeah.
What was the other one? There was a Rihanna featuring Drake as well at some point.
Oh, it's What's My Name?
Yes, okay. So those two played enough. And then we have Work and there's another one
Too
as well.
good.
Too Good. So yeah, so they've done it twice now. I don't want to hear it a third time. Okay, next is Desperado.
I really didn't like this.
This is when it started to get a bit... So part of this album, there are about 3 tracks on here which kind of feel like they're from a couple of decades ago. Did you get that vibe?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
This one and the next one, I got the vibe that is, yeah.
Yeah. So I liked it, but not greatly.
No.
It was...
This is where it gets a bit repetitive.
And a bit... Like, this is where Alright, there's a change now. There's a change to the sound. So yeah, the sound does change quite a bit over the album. Okay, next we have Woo, which I need to bring up actually to remind myself. I think I liked this one.
I didn't like the guitar in the background and how... No, I didn't like this one at all as well. It was a bit boring again.
Alright, let me check this out. Oh man, this had some... I love the beat to it. It's got a really powerful sort of... It doesn't... It's just the sound that it has that plays hard, that beats hard. So I love that. It's jarring, and it's something that I definitely heard when I left the album. So the beat is very different but very powerful. So I love that part of it. Like, that's the part that stands out for me. And then there's also she's performing. She's really pushing it. And there are lines of like, I don't love you anymore. And so it's kind of it's painful and it's powerful.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like this is music almost. This is kind of like it's almost like a statement rather than music. So it's hard to enjoy it as music as such. But if you want to feel the music, then this works quite well.
Viewpoint.
Yeah.
Never
Okay.
thought of it like that.
Yeah, otherwise you're right. It doesn't really work as music.
No.
Alright, next we have Needed Me. This has been on the radio quite a bit. What do you think of it?
This one's a very short track again, yes?
3 minutes 11.
Oh no, then it's not short. It's just Rihanna being Rihanna again. I think it's very standard Rihanna actually on Needed Me.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the sound of her last album was what was it called? unapologetic.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it was alright.
So this song I've heard a lot on the radio, and it's very much a girl saying to a guy like, "I just used you." That's it. And so it's different to hear that. Uh, so I like that the chorus. I like that the lyrics are fairly obvious. I kind of get a bit tired of abstract stuff, or not even abstract. I like abstract music. It's when it just doesn't really have a point that I don't like it. So I like that this had a point. I think she kind of belabored the point a bit by repeating it quite a bit. It is a radio song, but I really wish they wouldn't have to repeat it.
Her voice on the chorus is very good when she says, "You needed me."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this song was a decent song. I prefer it to Work as well.
Oh yeah.
Work is too much of a radio song. This is better. All right, yeah, I said it. This song has like a Game Boy sound in the background and a coin grabbing Mario sound. It's got a low mood and it's a very raw sexual song.
Yes.
And it all works well. The beat, the performance, and the lyrics all match up. So this one is a success. I like the song. And it's produced by Timbaland as well.
Oh wow.
There's quite a few good hip hop producers here.
I think what Rihanna did was when she was making this album, cause she uses Kanye West a lot to executive produce her albums.
Yeah.
I think she cut out a lot of Kanye West.
As in she made it and then decided not to use it?
Yeah, I think she made a bunch of tracks with Kanye West who EP'd his albums.
Okay.
And then she's at the end of it, she's like, "No, I don't want this much Kanye West on my album." Then she goes like, "Let me just take it in a new direction."
Right. Oh, I want to hear some of that actually from the past. I didn't know that he did that in the past.
I mean, like, have you like seen not the singles but the tracks that she released, like "Bitch Better Have My Money" and 4 or 5 seconds?
I didn't like 4 or 5 seconds.
But I like 4 or 5 seconds. 4 or 5 seconds.
Wait, which one is that? The one
4 or 5 seconds was the one with Paul McCartney and Kanye West.
Is that the song with just the guitar and it's very ballady?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I wasn't fond of that one. I just felt like there was nothing there. It didn't feel like a song. They had to finish it. Like can't get onto the Wasn't there another song as well that he put out? He put out, and he had another Paul McCartney song.
All Day.
No, but there was a second Paul McCartney song on top of 4 or 5 seconds. Oh yeah, he was on All Day, wasn't he? He was.
Yeah, All Day.
Did he not have a third song?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, so yeah, both of those songs didn't get onto the album, which I was happy about 4 or 5 seconds, but I wasn't happy about all. Back to what were we saying before we were sidetracked?
Yeah, I said it.
I don't know, what were we saying? Why did we go to Paul McCartney? Oh, EP, Kanye West executive.
Oh yeah.
Tracks.
Yeah.
So he did 4 or 5 seconds with Rihanna. You were saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think he did a bunch of other tracks for Rihanna that haven't seen the light of day.
That'll be an interesting combination. I do want to hear some of that. Okay, so where were we?
Yeah, I said it. And then next one.
Oh yeah, all right. I want to hear your opinion on Same Old Mistakes first before I say anything.
I love this track. I listen to it a lot. It's not an original track. It's a cover of someone. I can't remember their names now, but it's very psychedelic, and I think Rihanna's version of the cover is brilliant. I think her voice is brilliant. Her gritty kind of distant voice is just perfect for this track, and I really like it.
I'm glad you see. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. This song was the standout track for me. This is the song. This song stayed with me as I after I heard it 3 times, went outside. The next day I did hear this song playing, and it really takes you on a journey. The beat is really thick. There are a lot of instruments, and normally I would have gone into the studio and I would have said, "Don't do that. Take all that stuff off. There's too much there. It's just too crazy." But it all works so well, and it's just so thick that it takes you on a journey. It's a deep, harsh sound. I love the pianos, and I love the melody, and like you said, it's a cover, so it was
Yeah,
lifted straight from. There's an Australian band called Tame Impala, and
yeah, that's it.
it's based around a singer called Kevin Parker. So it's kind of his band, and then he gets
Yeah, yeah,
other people to play with him. So he does everything. So if you look at the credits, it's written and produced by him, and it was a great choice of song. Like,
But what's your opinion on covering a song on an album? Like, shouldn't an album be your work?
yeah. I can't stand cover albums where they're just taking songs from other people. When the
Yeah,
whole album is like that, no
yeah,
way. I'll let it go one-offs. If it's like one song, especially if it's a song as great as this, and especially if it's a song that isn't huge, that makes a
yeah,
big difference. Because then it feels like because I haven't heard it before. If it
yeah,
was covering a Mariah Carey song or something like that,
yeah,
it wouldn't have worked. So, nah. And because I just love it so much, I'm happy with this. So, and yeah, it is, as you said, it is psychedelic as well. It's
yeah.
another one of those songs. But this is again another place where the mood is different. It kind of goes back and forth between that simpler 60s kind of vibe, that old-fashioned vibe, and then this psychedelic, and then the beginning with the hard drums. It's not
Mm-hmm.
consistent.
I was a tiny bit disappointed when I found out it was a like straight up cover, but the more I listened to it, I was like, oh, yeah, Rihanna's good on this, and her version is really good, and I think I'll let this one slide as well because it is so good.
Yeah. Yeah. When I found out it was directly like I listened to the original,
Yeah, I
waiting to
listened to the
hear,
original as well. Yeah,
and it was pretty much just swapping his voice for her voice.
yeah, yeah,
So, but kudos to her for finding an amazing song that
yeah,
we love. Like we're
yeah,
talking about how great this song is.
yeah.
It is a hidden gem. So then next we have Never Ending, which is it's a very simple song. It's just a guitar. It sounds out of place. It's a bit of a country song actually.
Mm-mm-mm.
The lyrics are front and center though, which I like. I like lyrics being front and center. I sometimes find that they're buried. Like in the previous track, I didn't even pay attention to the lyrics in the previous track. I had to, read the lyrics and really listen closely, and I liked it on the past track, but I missed it totally the first couple of times. But this one, I was kind of half-hearted about it.
I think so. If you take Same Old Mistakes and the tracks before that and the tracks after that, I think Same Old Mistakes is like the pivotal change, transition point in the album. Because you listen to Same Old Mistakes and it's a great track, and then everything just changes after that, and everything has changed before that. And I think she placed it in the right position in the album.
Okay, yeah, I can see what you mean. It does become a
Yeah,
bit like there's a bit more old-fashioned songs. They're a bit more
yeah,
country. They're a bit less drum heavy.
yeah.
They're a bit less raw. Okay, yeah. I think there's one song beforehand which should have been placed lower, actually, below the Same Old Mistakes divide. Let's call
Yeah.
it. Then we have Love on the Brain, which is
I really didn't like this one. I found it so boring. It's like one of those songs I skip. I didn't like it. There's no meaning behind the song. I don't think, and it's just I really don't like these rap songs about love or these pop songs about love because you just get
it is a bit samey sometimes.
yeah.
And so I thought this song was I thought the song was good in theory. I didn't actually love it. I didn't really play it again. I didn't remember it. But there are a lot of things I liked about it. It was very old-fashioned as well, so it did remind me of some of the music from the past, sort of the soul songs, and it was kind of it was kind of like a ballad from a couple of decades ago. And it does that job, but I can't say I loved it. But it wasn't bad. It was well made.
Yeah.
Everything was well done. It's just
Yeah.
one of those situations where like I like everything about it. I just don't love it. I can't fault the song at all, but I just don't feel anything for it.
Yeah.
But I did love her performance. Like she's really, really shouting out, have love on the brain. It's a good performance. It's not a buried performance. That is front and center.
Lots of energy behind it.
Okay, moving on to the next song, Higher. What do you think of Higher?
I loved her vocal range in this when she says higher and she reaches the top of her voice. And that just shows the talent that Rihanna has, and that she has progressed in her skills as a vocal. And I loved it. And I love kind of like how the track starts and how the beat is really good. I loved it.
It's another drumless song, and
Yeah.
sometimes that makes it more powerful, and sometimes that makes it not very good. And in this case, it really helps
Because the vocals were so good, she didn't need like a drum heavy beat.
yes. See, that's the thing. This song felt raw. So when you
Yeah.
take away the drums and you just have the beat, it feels raw. And then her performance was so raw as well that when you just mesh the two together, it just works really well. So this song does what it's meant to do. So I think this is good. And then Close to You.
Final track.
Yeah.
Very slow. It was a good finisher. I think Rihanna's very good at starting and finishing albums. Yeah, I love the piano in this, the soft, slow piano, and her voice just kind of marries up to that, and it's really good.
It's nice and simple. I like the piano does work. It was a bit of a forgettable track for me. It was a bit. It was a little bit. It was very slow. It was very much a ballad, and I guess that does work now that this album has kind of become that. But I wasn't hugely fond of it. It was another forgettable track for me. But again, it does what it should do. And so I liked it in theory, but yeah, I didn't play it hugely, but I did like it more than the other one. Yeah, I liked it more than Love on the Brain in terms of
Yeah, I did.
that was forgettable.
Yeah.
I like this one.
Yeah.
More. Okay, and then there were some other songs as well. Did you go over the bonus tracks?
No. I think the only bonus track I heard is Sex is Better with Me or whatever it's called.
Yeah. I'm not fond of that chorus.
No.
It's really repetitive as well.
Yes.
It just kind of feels like a pointless song. I did not like it. A boring melody. The
Is
melody
that
was
Rihanna's
terrible.
S&M?
Yeah, yeah, and it's kind of like we can imagine that it's great. I feel like it was a rapper telling me that he's rich and I'm broke.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I got. Like, I don't need to know that Sex with You is great. It's something that I wouldn't mind doing, and so I don't need you to rub it in my face. And just the melody was boring. Like, she just says it point blank. There's no artist. She's not being artistic at all. She just says, for the chorus, Sex with Me is amazing.
Yep.
That's it. It was such a boring melody as well. Like, this song does not work. And it's released as I've heard it on the radio.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's not like a bonus track? Or...
I'm a bit unclear on whether it's actually a single or whether it's just on the radio. Because I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if you have to do one or the other. Although we have the internet now, so I guess you can.
Right.
But I've heard it on the radio. The other two tracks, Gotham, which was just lifted from... it's a sample of Florence and the Machine, which... I love Florence and the Machine.
Yeah, I love them as well.
It's a bit out of place.
Yeah.
It didn't have Rihanna on it at all.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like an interlude, a musical interlude, so pointless. Sounded good, but pointless here on this album. And then Pose, which had a lot of attitude. I loved it. It had swearing, it had a harsh beat, it had attitude.
Yeah.
She was telling people that she was the boss.
Yeah.
She kept calling girls bitches. You bitches, I'm the boss. So sometimes I don't like bragging, sometimes I don't like swearing, but it worked. It totally worked here. I like hearing Rihanna like this. I want to hear the...
Just one quick question about the Sex with Me is Amazing track.
If you must.
You said it plays on the radio. Does that mean they've censored it a lot?
Well, not the chorus.
Not the chorus. Okay.
Yes, they have the word sex is there.
Oh, okay.
It would be kind of rubbish if they blanked out that word. That wouldn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, the lyrics I don't always pay attention to, so I can't remember how raw they are.
Okay.
So I don't know. But yeah, Pose was it had a lot of attitude, and that can so easily be done badly. The whole cocky thing, like rappers do it all the time, they do it wrong. But in this case, she did it right. I want to hear her like this. This is the time when I like to hear confident people.
Mm-hmm.
So overall thoughts of the album?
It shows Rihanna's progression. I love the fact that she's taken a whole new direction and she's been bold enough to do that. So I would give it a solid 8 out of 10.
So I felt that she's going in a different direction. She doesn't have a label telling her that this doesn't sell for people, this does sell. But then again, on the other hand, I like one sound, I like one song topic, and both of these things weren't really met. It was a bit of a mismatch. Like there's at some point where on a song she says, "I have love on the brain," or "I really need you," and then there's another song where she's saying, "I just use you," or "I don't want you." And there's even one song, the song that she took from Tame Impala. Well, on the same song, it actually says the conflicting things like your own.
Two sides of me can't agree, or something like that.
There's a part where she says at the end, "Don't forget you're only an option. Don't think you're not just an option." But earlier, it's a pretty heavy love song. So even in the same song, like her choice of songs it's just I want something a bit more consistent. So I liked half of the album, and I was unimpressed by the other half. So some of the ballads, some of the old-fashioned stuff, wasn't that fond of. I won't be remembering. But there are kind of about 4 or 5 tracks which I really loved. So it's an album of a few songs that I really loved. The rest of the songs I was indifferent about. And overall, I'd give it she's gone down, up and down. It started as a 7. It went up to 7.5. But now it's gone back down to a 7. So the second half, it just kind of loses.
It kind of pitters off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that vibe as well. But yeah. But you kind of have to look at it in the whole context about previous Rihanna's work and what she's kind of making her own space now.
Yeah, I'm impressed with her just going in her own direction and making her own kind of music. I definitely feel like this album was made for art and not for the charts.
Yeah.
And I love that her and Beyonce are in that position now.
Yeah.
They're both just doing that. You can hear it in their music.
Yeah.
So I'm impressed by that. So I like that. And that's why I was less harsh with her on this album, because I know that she's doing it for that reason, and you can hear it. You can hear that everything sounds good. I remember the first time I heard Lupe Fiasco's Lasers. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
And it was so made for radio that was disappointing. And it was disheartening to hear. And this is the total opposite. This is just, I'm making this to make good art. So I'll give her, I'll give her a 7 for that. But yeah, there were a couple of tracks I would take out from here, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's our opinion on Rihanna's Anti. Thanks for being with us, and we will see you next week.
Bye.